Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the nOg Irish Pubcast, Pod at the Nog. With the Pride Edition, we're going to showcase some really cool comics tonight. We're raising funds for Flagler Pride. They're in the building. Yeah. And the fantasy shop is in the building. So say hello to Nikki and Sean for us. But without further ado, I got to perform with the Bree at Flagler Pride this past month, earlier this month. How are you, Debris?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome, fantastic. There's the camera right there. We're not making a. Feel free to interact in the chat if you'd like. We're on YouTube, on my channel, youtube.com/Sreth_Nay, and you'll see the live video. So, Debris, what
Yes.
inspired you to perform stand-up comedy?
Why?
What inspired you to?
Well, I'm funny sometimes. No, actually, it's something I've always wanted to do since I was like a little kid, and I guess I didn't know which direction to go to get there, and I was still finding myself in ways, and I don't know. Once I got the confidence to be me, I was like, all right, what's next?
Absolutely.
Let's follow that dream, and therefore, that's what I do. Yeah.
It's one heck of a dream, isn't it?
It is. It's great. It's you envision it growing up. You have that in your back of your mind. You're like, oh my god, I could do stand up. I see comedians online or on TV or whatever. I'm like, I could do that. And then you do it. You're like, this is fun, but it's scary.
It really is.
It can be.
Absolutely.
In the beginning, yeah.
Which leads me to my next question. What was it like when you first performed stand up?
Well, actually, the way I got into it, is Improv Orlando. They had their class, and I'm like, you know what? Just going to jump into it. I saw it online on Facebook, and I was like, it's a sign. So I jumped in. So I did the class. So it kind of teaches you, how to write, like Carmen Malone does it. So they teach you how to write, essentially. That's the hardest part in stand up. And then they also teach you the stage presence, and they get you first day of class, you're on stage, so you're automatically getting used to the stage presence and the feel of talking to people. Um, so I did a couple open mics, but you know during the class, and then there is they have their big graduation class. So that's my first big, like, 200 plus people. So to me, that was like, oh my god, this is fun. But it was exciting. I loved it. I got a lot of laughs, and prior to getting up on stage that day, I was just like roaming the room. I had friends come out and support me, and they're wanting to talk to me and be like, hey, I'm like, no, shh. Preparation mode. Everybody here knows. You guys know.
Yep, yep.
So, but once you get up there, that adrenaline is there, and you just once you're performing, get the laughs. It's just you're in a different world.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's how it felt for me. It's like I was like on a different cloud. Maybe cloud 9. Cloud 14 or somewhere. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, and then like Carmen Malone has like the class been going on, and now he's bringing it, like he's branching out with it, so it's fantastic. He's going to Madcaps and the improv too, so they're both great stages.
They are. Improv is one of the best stages in Orlando. I mean, just because think about. Oh, that reminds me. Like the first time even that first day of class, you're on that stage, right? And it's just like the 10 to 14 people or whatever that's taking the class. But you get off the stage, you're like, I'm performing on the same stage as so many comics out there that have come through Orlando. You're like, wow, it's kind of cool.
Indeed, I only performed there twice. The first time I got to produce a show, and I reached out to like all the comics that are on the radio, and so they helped pack out the show. And this headliner needed a feature, and I was like, he already got the improv venue. He just needed comics to pack that place out.
Right.
And so I was smart. I was like, hey, they're all on 104.1. Why don't we have one comic from each show? Talk about it every hour on the hour until we get there.
Right.
And so sure enough, he only expected 70 people to show up. And then when I did my interview on Real Laughs, they had to push the clock back, like to 8:30, and we're supposed to start at 8 o'clock.
Oh wow.
And so they shrunk my time to 30 minutes to 10 minutes, and I still got paid the same rate. And so that wasn't
That
bad.
works. Yeah.
And so it ended up having like 280 people show up. So they brought the extra 210. So it was fantastic. There was like a few like guest list folks too, but
Right.
But just to say that I brought like 200 people to the improv, and it was like the most insane energy. But
It is. The energy's awesome.
it really is. And I told the DJ I told him to accidentally light me at 8, and I'm so used to having me light at 9 instead of 10. So or for my 10-minute set. So that's a fun 10-minute set. It just flew by too fast. So.
Right. It does.
Yeah.
It does.
And usually it takes like when you're on stage for the first time, it takes forever for that. Like 5 minutes seems like forever.
It does. Yeah. Absolutely.
And then when you go on there and you're already done it a couple times, and it's like 10 minutes seems like, well, that was fast. So bizarre how like the tables turn.
Oh yeah. Even like it's like even in the class, like the first time is they want you to do like 2 minutes, and you're like, oh God, it's forever.
Yeah.
But now I'm writing a joke, trying I'm trying to fit like 3 jokes in 5 minutes when I do like a 5 or 7 minute set. So it's like, yeah, it's definitely a difference.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Erica just commented on our video. She said, "Flag of Pride in the house. Sareth and Bree were both great at a recent Pride event. Thank you."
Oh,
You're welcome, Erica. Good stuff. Awesome.
who else? Anybody chatting on there? Anybody I know?
Nope. We
Where
got
my friends at? I know you're watching.
we have 4
Jack,
people.
say hi.
Hey, Jack. So we have 4 people in our audience at home, and so if you want to interact in chat, feel free to do that. But be nice to us. I want to let you know.
Or be mean, whatever.
Yeah, the break can
We'll
handle
get
it.
you.
I'm a softie. Debris, what are some of your favorite comedy specials and comedy record albums?
So many. Well, I guess my variation on that is like growing up, I just loved Ellen. Just her sarcasm and a lot of what she's done to pave the road for so many comics, women, LGBT, whatever. But I've seen so many specials. I can't even say. I don't know, it's a lot. But Ellen was definitely one. Robin Williams, always fan favorite watching. Eddie Murphy. I don't know.
There's so many great
Laundry
ones.
list.
Absolutely.
Jim Gaffigan's one of my favorites, just because he's that clean comic that's just I just like how he takes like say a Christmas tree and makes it just so funny, like the way, and that kind of a lot of times when I'm writing, I emulate certain things like that, like Ellen being with sarcasm, and then Jim Gaffigan just able to make something out of nothing and just make it like a story and funny, and it's just when I write, I think about these people, how they. Sometimes I'll just go on YouTube and listen to a comic just to get my mind in that mindset. Because sometimes you get that writer's block, but I'll sit and listen to anybody, Jim Jeffries. I go forever, but I kind of I listen to them just to get my mind there. Or sometimes I'll just listen to a special now, and I hear something, I'm like, I know I can do something in that realm. I don't take anything from anybody. I don't steal, but I can I don't know. It just gets my mind running and triggered, and I'm like, all right, I can relate things to my own life and work with it. So that makes sense. That doesn't really answer your question. There's so many. I can't name any.
Indeed. And like Ellen and Eddie Murphy have been on TV and film and such, and I want to know what your favorite sitcom sketch shows and comedy films are.
Whew. Comedy, well, it's funny for me. Sitcom is Friends. I love Friends. Just story. The Office, classic. So writing is amazing. But as far as movies, I'm old. I'm old. I'm in my 40s. So when I hear Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was one of my earliest memory of just a comedic movie that was just spectacular. Like it just hit every level. And then I like Dumb and Dumber, Office Space. You ever watch that?
Yeah.
That's just I worked in customer service for years, so I watched that. I can every character they have in that movie is real. It's like,
Yeah.
you have that character in any customer service oriented role you've been in. You have that boss that's just annoying. You have this colleague that's like just too happy every day, and So those are really just ones that always resonate with me. But I like stupid stuff too, like Super Troopers, and I like slapstick. So
Indeed.
yeah,
Good
it's just
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I like good writing too. I mean, slapstick can just be funny. You can watch somebody fall down and you laugh, but then you have other movies that just have great writing.
My favorite scene in Super Troopers was like when they got arrested in the cop car and they were baked. So it's good stuff.
Yeah, I love the cop.
Yeah.
He like goes past them. They're like, whoa, and the guys in the back, strawberries licking the windshield. Yeah, they just mess with them. It's great.
Indeed, most definitely. And let's see here. If you can go on tour with any comic, locally and internationally known, which comedians would you like to go on tour with?
Mm. Well, Ellen or Jim, we do those. Gaffigan. Actually, I like Ross Paget locally.
He's awesome.
He cracks me up. Any of you guys, hey, we do well together, right?
Mhm.
So I want my tour to be with you guys. Geez, I don't know. Whoever calls me says, "Hey, Bree, you're coming with me." I'm like, "All right, I'm in."
Absolutely. That's a great answer. So, if you can get roasted by 5 comedians, top 5 dead or alive, which comedians would you like to get roasted by?
Bob Saget, definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Jeffrey Ross. That might scare me a little bit, intimidate, because he's the king of it.
Indeed.
I would definitely want a friend that I've known for too long to be on the road. Even they may not be funny, or they might be funny. But it just because they would know certain things about me, so that would I would like that. I want to invite that. George Carlin, why not? Let's bring George on board.
Indeed. Absolutely. Good stuff.
What about you? I want to know.
Oh,
Let's interview you for a second.
I've already been roasted. It's actually on my YouTube channel. There's like close to 600 views, and it's like you said, people that you grew up with were on my panel. My buddy that was my best friend that took photos of concerts with me, and 2 comedians. One was my roast master. His name was Charlie Mole. He does all the artwork for my festival, which is like right behind you, the poster.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
The horse.
Oh no, the next.
Just kidding.
And then let's see.
That one.
Yeah, like my one of the musicians or 2 of the musicians. One I managed to get booked shows, and so it's on YouTube. I'm like one of the nicest people on earth. But when you see them, and I tell like the girl from my juggler, I said, don't hold nothing back. Talk about how I eat cats and dogs because I'm Asian. Just do all that stuff. And they did, and it's like the best hour of on YouTube probably. So I'll have to send you the link, so you'll be. It's like a classic. Uh, Gosh, like Richard Pryor roast or a Dean Martin roast or something. It's just in that style. It's not like a roast battle like you see now, but it's just like a classic version.
I would like to roast somebody.
Indeed, it's fun. But they brought the evil out of me in that show, and I cursed, and I also sing at the end. So you will enjoy that song at the end. Probably.
All right, I'll go watch that.
Indeed, good stuff. And where do you see your comedy journey in the next 5 years?
I see it growing. Like I've after the pandemic, I think got my head a little bit, so I didn't really go on stage as much as I wanted. But I'm back, so I'm really planning to just get out strong in July and let it grow from there. So in 5 years, hopefully you'll see me in a sitcom. Hey, why not?
Absolutely.
Which might happen soon. I can't say anything.
Oh, well, I'm hoping for the best for sure. Indeed, good stuff. You can be like Ellen, and she had her own sitcom, and
I'm gonna pave the way for all the trans comedians. How's that?
Absolutely, that'd be a great.
There's like 4 of us in the world.
Oh,
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's at least one. I don't know.
Indeed, and let's see here. Brie, which leads me to which you pretty much answered the next question because like which other forms of comedy would you like to venture off into like improv, sketch, comedy writing, acting, directing?
I will do some acting. I've done some writing. I've done some sketches already that are somewhere on YouTube. I don't know. They're supposed to go somewhere, never went anywhere. But that was a fun experience, and I've written a few sketches. So I do enjoy writing sketches, but let me just be the first one on SNL. Why not?
Absolutely.
First trans SNLer. How's that? Is that a word?
It's,
SNLer.
it's possible for sure. Indeed. And so, what's your favorite joke a comic has written?
A comic?
Whether it's your joke or anybody, a local comic, someone famous.
Tough questions. Got so many. Well, I hate to be that person, but the George Carlin 7 words. Honestly, Stephen Wright. I would say anything that Stephen Wright has written is definitely on the list because I know how hard it is to write a good one-liner. I've written several that I think are pretty good, but he just does it flawlessly. It's a different art. It's a different mindset. One of my favorite actually jokes that I always liked was Jim Brewer, his alcohol joke. If you've seen it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, where he talks about all the alcohol going in and you're getting out. The tequila's like, no, no, no. That's actually it's a brilliant joke to me.
It really is.
Yeah, it's simple, but it's just fun.
And coming back to SNL, I loved him on the SNL days when he was Goat Boy and
Yes. Yes.
good stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have his book at home too, so I gotta get back in there and read it again. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't read it. It's
Indeed.
good. You like it?
I've read the parts that I've read so far. I
Okay.
enjoy. But I gotta. There's things like graphic novels always pop in my head. There's so many books at my house. I'm like, I can't. It's just a horrible reader problem. Like I can't finish one, so I gotta go to a different one. And the next thing you know, I forgot about the first one that I was supposed to finish reading.
Sounds familiar. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'll get a book and 6 years later, I'm still on chapter 3.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Awesome. And so, Bree, what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
Say that again.
Oh, what experience would you like your audience to take with them after a set is over?
After a set is over,
Yeah.
A little education, because I do throw that in. I don't want it all to be about anything trans, but just that they laughed. I
Absolutely.
mean, a lot of what I do is silly. I mean, Tatiana already said, when she sees me, she thinks it's a squirrel joke, and people love that joke. It's good. But I'm not out to offend anybody or hurt anybody. I just want people to laugh, and like I said, at the end of the day, maybe learn a little bit more about this community and that we're just people. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Indeed. And so, Debris, so this is, I put your Instagram handle in the description box below so they can follow you.
Mhm.
So it's on my YouTube channel if you're watching. 4 people are watching, so you might have 4
4
more
people.
followers out
Woo!
here.
I'm nervous now.
Indeed.
4 people out there.
So this part's optional if you want to have it live streamed or
I'm
not.
kidding.
So this is optional if you want to have it live streamed or not. Would you like your set to be live streamed or not? Your stand-up set.
Oh, today's?
Yep.
Oh, we're still doing that? Okay.
Like tonight?
Tonight? Woo.
Oh, but before we
Yeah,
jump-
sure, that's fine.
Okay, before we jump into that one, feel free to shout any questions, or you can use this mic to ask Debris any questions. If you're in attendance and would like to ask Debris a question.
Not a lot. Too many questions.
Right.
What do you got? The ghost.
Oh, so what's the story about the ghost?
No, there's no ghost story.
Oh, okay, because this place is haunted.
I mean,
so-
I saw a ghost story once. It's Patrick Swayze was in it. You might see it.
Oh, yep.
I'm doing my set now. You ready?
Oh, for sure. Well, we'll play some Unchained Melody for you, and then I'll let you have 4 minutes. So are you ready to rock and roll? I'll get off stage while you perform.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean,
So already on stage is none other than the Bree. So enjoy some stand up for her.
Do I need to stand up or sit down?
Whatever you're comfortable with.
I would do sit down comedy, but Bill Cosby ruined that. Let's start with that, right? I don't want to offend anybody unless you're Bill Cosby. Well, didn't really have a set planned. What should I start with? All right, let's just do like I said, I'm transgender, and when I came out as trans, it was an awesome time. You know, you build up this whole thing in your mind. You know, everybody hates me because everybody's scared of me. But then you're excited, and you come out, you're like, woohoo! But then one thing I learned about the LGBT community is that they don't like Chick-fil-A. You know, they kind of don't get along well. They really don't. So now, you know, you work all that time to get out of the closet, then you find yourself back in the closet eating Chick-fil-A. It's horrible. Yeah, Chick-fil-A. It is a good sandwich, though. Might be the devil. That's why they don't work on Sundays. So I have 3 cats at home. I'm going to steal one of your jokes, okay? Just kidding, I don't know it. I do have 3 cats, and not a fan. Really not. Love a girlfriend. She's great. Moved in to be with her, but then there 3 cats were there. And just want to get rid of all of them. Everywhere I go now, I find myself trying to get rid of them. You know, we're in a conversation. Nowhere, I don't care where we are. We're at McDonald's or something. I'm like, you guys want a cat? I got 3 if you want one. I mean, actually, I do like one of them. I want to keep one of them. I even offered Alex a couple cats. He said no. It's rude. I've asked my neighbors if they want them. I even put food out for them. They won't leave. They stay at the door like, I'm not going out there. Have you been out in the world lately? Have you seen the world? Do you know what happened this week, last week? Shh, we won't talk about that. You know, it's kind of, there's a joke there. Because what do you call a cat? And what, you know. We won't go there. Let's talk about squirrels. So, the ADD community. It's a fun one, right? There's we're out there. Apparently you're out there too, because you're like me. You take 12 years to read a book. But in the community, you know, there's one thing that people always think of. What do they say? You have your moment, your spacey moment. You know, you're having a conversation. You're looking back. You're like, oh Jesus. And everybody says, oh my God, squirrel, right? Squirrel. But I always think about the squirrel in the situation. Nobody does. Nobody cares about the squirrel. They just make fun of the squirrel. So, you know, every time you're driving down the street, you know, you're driving, you're on Twitter. Of course, you're on your phone checking Twitter as you drive. That's how we do it. And then at the corner of your eye, you see a squirrel run across the street, like, squirrel. And then you're like, squirrel's like, oh no, human. So then they run to this side of the street and they run right back. Because, you know, they forgot what they were doing. Like, oh, I'm crossing the street. No, I'm not. I'm going back. But you know, every time you see this happen, there's always a set of squirrels somewhere in a tree or a bush somewhere watching. And one's just like tapping the other like, Betty, Timothy's out running in the street again. Crazy squirrel. What's another joke I do? So beer is good. Anyway. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up because I'm tired. I drove here from Orlando. You know how much gas is these days? It's actually going down, though. That's good, right? I guess I want to keep rambling. Somebody said to stop talking. I'm kidding. But yeah, gas is going back down. It's awesome. We can now drive without getting a loan out. It's amazing. So anyway, for everybody here that wants to buy me a beer, I'm available. Anyway, all right. Everybody have a good night. We'll see the next comic up on stage or on the podcast. Bye-bye. Wait, are there 4 people still? Did they leave? Oh. Hey, if you're watching this, go next door to your neighbor's house. Get them on there. That'd be great. All right.
Give it up for the Bree, ladies and gentlemen. So we're gonna end this live stream so we bring up the next comic. But while we're doing that, feel free to visit the fantasy shop at their table and Flagwood Pride at their table. Donate whatever you can and all the good stuff. Always that for this one.